Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Hahn, and I will be doing a presentation on why deforestation needs to end, talking about climate change. So the world around us is changing at an alarming and rapid pace, with the climate exponentially becoming more and more extreme with each passing decade. I mean, we've had so many hurricanes and, with the outage going on in Texas happening a couple months ago. And, if we do not make an effort to change our ways soon, we will eventually have to adapt to a whole new world. Um, and one of the easiest ways to mitigate this change and give us more time is just to end mass deforestation by planting more different types of vegetation and trees. And I've been very involved in the climate crisis for the past few years. It's been a political issue and scientific issue that I've been involved with, and I am a chemistry major, so I do know kind of what is happening when it comes to climate change. So I will explain how deforestation contributes to the climate crisis and give a solution to the problem that will slow down climate change and give animals their habitats back. So first, let's talk about deforestation. So it is negatively affecting the climate at a very significant rate and is also, hurting indigenous people and organisms all across the world. And I will show you two, reasons why it's such a problem. So the Pachamama Alliance, which is a nonprofit organization that fights for rights of certain indigenous peoples, wrote an article called "The Effects of Deforestation," and they state that the loss of trees and other vegetation can cause climate change, desertification, soil erosion, fewer crops, flooding, increased greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, and a host of other problems for indigenous people. And Christina Nunez, who is a writer for National Geographic, shows in her article called Climate 101 Deforestation that between 1990 and 2016, the world lost 502,000 square miles of forest, which, according to the World Bank, is an area that is larger than South Africa. So we are just cutting down trees like crazy, and it's causing vast problems for the ecosystem. So now that we understand why deforestation is becoming such a massive problem, let us explore some solutions. So there are many different ways to go about ending the need for deforestation, which range from big administrative changes to everyday actions. But the big administrative changes are obviously going to be the ones that are most effective. So we'll look at two of the most effective big administration changes. So, Rinkesh, who is a writer for Conserve Energy Future, which is basically a website that raises awareness for environmental issues, he boldly states that in his article, Deforestation Compromises of a Growing World, that the best solution to deforestation is, basically government regulation, which I do agree with. If the government puts regulations on corporations to end their incentive to cut down, large amounts of forest, then deforestation will stop. I mean, this has been shown time and time again with stuff like the oil and gas industry and among other things. And another solution, which has also been widely talked about, was explained very well by an employee at NASA, Alan Buis. He used data from a Switzerland study, and he basically explained that planting more than 500 billion trees um, could capture about 205 gigatons of carbon from the atmosphere, which is about 25% of the carbon that is in our atmosphere right now. And that's enough to basically negate 20 years of climate change, which could significantly add time to allow us to come up with more long-standing solutions. And these are the best possible solutions for the short term. So for the reasons why other solutions probably wouldn't work out as well is because, pushback against deforestation would be very effective in the short term. And, to contrast this with many other solutions, a lot of other solutions to climate change require big societal shifts and technology that we just don't have in mass production yet. So, Earl J. Ritchie, who wrote an article for Forbes titled "The Shift to Renewables: How Far, How Fast." He cited a study that claimed that the median of the most optimistic of projections in the latest IPCC assessment has low carbon sources, generating only 60% of the world's energy supplies by 2050, still more than the majority, with wind, water, and solar less than 15%. So even in the best case scenario with switching to renewable energy, as we understand it currently, it's not going to happen until at least 2050 by most experts. Same thing that writers for the New York Times discovered when they wrote an article called "Electric Cars Are Coming: How Long Until They Rule the Road," in which it details the slow transition to electric cars and states that even in 2050, when electric cars are projected to make up 60% of new sales, the majority of vehicles on the road will still be on gasoline because older cars on gas can still run better than and are less expensive than the newer cars that are being made now. So, the slow progress of these energy sources is, very damaging to wait on. So, deforestation is the best short-term option that we have. So, government regulation and reforestation are the two best ways to eliminate the epidemic of deforestation, which will in turn mitigate climate change and its stranglehold on the planet. And stopping the need to cut large amount of trees is not only beneficial to us humans, but is beneficial to all life on Earth as we, restore habitats that have been lost for animals and, for stopping, like, for example, the acidification of the ocean because of the carbon that is being absorbed into the water. And, even small acts such as wasting paper can go a long way to protect our ecosystem. So I would implore you to look into deforestation and other methods of curbing climate change before it's too late.